Hello, teacher and learners. In clip video episode 7, we will discuss the components of the sufficiency economic philosophy. Today, we will focus on objective. To start with, the sufficiency economic philosophy is a framework to guide the conduct and behavior of people at all levels, from family and community to government. Its aim to ensure that development and governance proceed along with middle path, especially in economic development to keep pace with the global standards. Now, you, the learners or teachers, you notice that these phases appear frequently in the slide presentation by the speaker. I would like to develop an understanding of it and explain on it gradually. It becomes a regular practice in our daily life. Let's continue. The purpose of using the philosophy of sufficiency economic is somewhat similar to the principle of scientific work. We will start by understanding what is the purpose. An approach should be adapted, and then consider this objective for people in all levels, genders, and age. The goal is to implement this approach to maintain balance and adapt to the era of the globalization. The principle of significance means moderation, reasonableness, and necessity. Having a good internet system of resilience to deal with changes and impacts from both internet and external sources. This describes the nature of significance, which must be emphasized according to the context or complexity. Let's look at the moderation and reasonableness. Moderation means frequency and appropriateness according to necessity. It should be appropriate to one nature, status, or context, neither too much or too little. This is what referred to as moderation for ourselves or our context. As for reasonableness, it involves considering various factors. Reasonableness cannot rely solely on our thoughts or experiences. We must also academic principle, legal standards, ethical norms, and social rules, as well as necessities of life. When all of these elements come together and are normalized, moderation is achieved and enables us to operate into the model path. Let's delve into details of reasonableness. According to the principle, reasonableness requires using universal academic principle. If we refer to any academic field to justify action or achieve objective, it must be universally recognized and relevant to the matter of hand. For example, if a teacher is involved in primary education, they should use principles and methods appropriate for the education level. They should not apply advanced education theories meant for higher education, such as those for doctoral program, to primary education. This is because the contents of the depth of advanced theories must be too complex for basic education level. The key is to adapt the principle to the fit to educational level and context. Thus, reasonableness involves choosing appropriate economic principles that align with the design's making context and ensuring they are universally applicable and relevant to the profession or field in question. In terms of legal principle, there are similarities as well. Legal principles involve various components, including regulation and rules specific to different professions or organizations at the national level. This can extend up to the Constitution of Thailand. Reasonableness according to the legal principles is frequently observed. For instance, when teachers are required to undertake a project or develop a plan related to their educational institution, they need to refer to various legal documents. Commonly signed documents include the Constitution and National Education Act. For professional matter, it would be necessary to refer to law, regulations, or rules related to the specific professional organization involved. Next, regarding moral principle, these principles are based on the Dharma that guide us to behave well. Moral principles essentially enforce good behavior, as they set a framework that when follow a rule that acts ethically, some people are inherently good and do not need explicit moral guidelines to behave well, while others may use moral principle as a reference for their action. Whether one starts from the foundation for the moral behavior and then aligns it with the moral principles, or begins by adhering to a established moral principle and apply them to their behavior, the key is to use this principle to guide reasoning and decision making. Next, regarding social norms. This depends on the society we are in, including this culture and values. Social norms evolve and can change over time depending on the era, circumstance, and the context. They are not fixed and vary with the individual. For example, if there is a change in governance or community leadership, social norms may also change. This flexibility can be also considered in reasoning and decision making. Next, there is necessity of living. They refer to essential things that we need to use, practice, which is indispensable. In reasoning, if it is purely based on personal convenience without evidence or supporting information, it's not acceptable. For example, it cannot be just based on personal instinct. I suggest consider about 5 reasons to be, but in the practice. You do not need all 5. It can be just 1 or 2 that are most relevant and crucial. For instance, as teacher, the needs follow regulations such as having professional teaching license in part of a legal requirement. This license is mandated by professional standards set by educational organization, and non-compliance can lead to the penalties or revocations, which teachers are generally aware of. Next, let's talk about the immune system of the person risk factor. This concept is similar to the risk factor we consider when developing strategy plans. The immune system or risk factor involve identifying potential threats that could undermine the success of our endeavors. For example, teachers must face risks that health issues or interruptions in teaching duty, so they need to maintain their health and have contingency plans in place. In practical terms, this means implementing effective measures to prevent these risks. For instance, teachers should adopt good health practice, maintain social distancing. If necessary, they have proper hygiene. Different individuals or professions will have the variety level of risks and thus different level of preventive measure. Some may have more robust measures such as frequent mask changes or sanitizing, while other in safer environment might not need as much as precaution. To build an effective immune system, you need to analyze the factors involved, implement necessary changes, and induce this change to lead effective outcome without causing further obstacles. This includes addressing impacts in various areas such as mental, social, environmental, and social aspects. Technology might also include in the social or material impact, such as these areas can have further subcategories, and it's important to consider them comprehensively. Next, let's look at the 4-dimensional immune system. Here, I will go into the detail, provide examples. You will likely need to apply this principle during activity. The 4-dimensional immune system consists of following dimensions. The first dimension is material immunity. Material immunity is a strong community, which means you have saving. Next, they should risk entrance for the future. Following that, they should be investment for development and also long-term plan. This related to the economic system, having saving ensures that no matter what happens, you can still manage to get by. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, people with strong material immunity can cope and live happily. However, some individuals might have faced minor problems before recovering. Because having saving is crucial for emergency or unexpected expenses, This is especially important for families with children will need to educate and learn. Next, there is the risk insurance for the future, which means considering various types of insurance such as life insurance and car insurance. Risk insurance for the future means that if something happens, you can continue living safely and securely. It's about having an immunity system that assures long-term happiness and security. In addition to having saving and insurance, you should also think about investment for development. It's not feasible for remain and expect income to flow in. If you want to increase your expenses or require additional things, you need to increase your income as well. Therefore, you should create a material immune system by planning investment by will enhance your economic properties. This includes having a long-term plan, which can vary from person to person. Some may have for 3 to 5 years, while others plan for 10 or 20 years. It depends on the individual circumstance. Using familiar terms with the help teacher become accustomed to and frequently use this concept. The next is the second dimension of four-dimensional immune system, social community. Strong social community means being aware, knowledgeable, loving, and undefined. Collaboration and voluntary work are also very important. We can see that our society has increasingly engaged in voluntary work, bringing significant benefit for the collective effort to everyone. Having moral values and commitment to ethical standards enhance our community, keeping us from falling into negative situations. Moral values guide us toward growth, development, and continued improvement. A white society refers to pure society without impurity. Aligning with the moral and ethical value living in such a society, although there may be some gray area, should not be so overwhelming that it prevents us from continuing our life. Helping and sharing the similarity to the cooperation and volunteerism, it will have a resources. You can share them based on the principle of sufficiency economy, which we will study further. Next is the third dimension of four-dimensional immune system. Environmental immunity. Strong environment immunity starts with awareness and evaluating. The environment awareness means we must continue monitor and take care of our environment to keep it in a stable state, ensuring it benefits and allows us to live heavily with clear air to breathe. For example, having environment policy across to the section is essential for comprehensive immunity. If only one person is aware and value the environment, it won't be significant. We need everyone to adapt this attitude through policy that encourage collective environment care. Creating habits that are clear and orderly also have many benefits. Cleanliness and orderliness make living space pleasant and prevent disease. As cleanliness removes all germs. The final aspect of environmental immunity is adapting to nature and achieving balance which aligns with nature as it is, similar to how rice plants and bamboo adjust to the strong winds within breaking. By achieving balance with the nature, we can sustain our environment. The third dimension of the four-dimensional immune system is cultural immunity. Strong and stable community involves both upholding Thai culture and respect local cultures. Thai culture represents the collective culture of our country, while local country and culture vary by regions and reflect the unique traditions of each area. In Thailand, we have 4 regions, each with its own cultural practice. These diverse practices come together to form the oral Thai culture. Once we establish a solid foundation in our culture, as we interact with network and partner both within the country and abroad, the principle of the significant economic according to the Laurel Initiative as well summarized earlier in the initial plan are being recapped. Once again, the philosophy of the significant economy advocates from the middle path, starting with moderation, reasonableness, and having a strong internal immune system along with two keys, conditions, knowledge, and virtue. The condition of knowledge includes awareness, thoroughness, and correction. The condition of virtue includes honesty, diligence, patience, wisdom, generosity. Everything will lead to the balance, stability, and sustainability of the objective related to natural, social, environmental, and cultural aspects. To summarize everything we have discussed today, covering the principle of significant economic, the conditions and the benefit leading to sustainable and enduring development. In this episode 7, the elements of the significant economic philosophy are quite important. I sincerely hope that the learners or teacher will apply this principle in the activity at the end of the clip video. Moving on to the activity 7. Activity 7 is about components of the significant economic philosophy. Worth 5 points after studying episode 7 on the components of the significant economic philosophy. Learners or teachers should provide examples or explanations of behavior that they have observed or their own behavior that are believed related to alike with at least 2 opponents of the significant economic philosophy. Explain these examples sufficiently, omit them according to the deadline, and channel specific by the instructor or teacher. For the 2 opponents, you have the freedom to choose which one to focus on and how you select your example. You may want to review the clip video multiple times or observe your daily life to find relevant behavior or examples.